We did Jack.
Well, I tried a while ago and he didn't jump. Now,
Don't
I
jump.
always liked when I needed a motion or something about Jackie, you just goose him, you know, he
If I get my
jumped.
knife out and stab him in the leg, he'll jump.
I figured that. A little nervous looking out on them people.
Ready?
Mine may have been sitting back here in the
I'd
back.
like to call the meeting to order. Chad, you mind do the roll call?
Sir Judge, Mr. Elder,
Here.
Mr. Kirk,
Here.
Bishop,
Here.
Fogel,
Here.
Mr. Quayle.
Here.
All present, Judge.
First of all, I'd like to take a moment of silence for Mrs. Prudy Holland of Braversville, Mr. William Wheatley, and Miss Rita Cecil. Thank you all, appreciate it. I'd also like to welcome, we got two folks up here today, Mr. Joe Pat Kirkland and Mr. Jackie Fogel. Appreciate you all stepping up and look forward to working with you. The first item on the agenda is consider approval of minutes of meeting held Thursday, December the 20th, and special call meeting held Wednesday, December the 26th.
Motion?
Second.
Bishop,
Yes.
Mr. Quayle,
Yes.
Mr. Fogel,
Yes.
Mr. Kirk,
Yes.
Mr. Elder.
Almost caught you there, didn't it? Yes.
A long time, man.
Figure out which way to.
Yeah.
The second item on the agenda is consider approval to allow Lebanon Water District permission to use county road right-of-way to upgrade water main lines on Radio Station Road. Mr. Darren Thompson with the Lebanon Water Company is here to answer questions and explain the project.
Thank you, Judge. This project, we're going to be installing a new 6-inch water main down Radio Station Road. You guys have a copy of the map. If you look at the colored copy, that blue line represents the existing water line that runs behind Jane and Linda's to the field, cuts across Radio Station Road, and the water services are predominantly in the rear of the properties. And so what we're suggesting is we're planning on abandoning this water main and hooking on to the water main near Jane and Linda's that's currently going across Highway 55, running that down Radio Station Road and putting a hydrant down by the creek. So that will improve fire protection in the area. But to do that, if you look at the second page, the black and white copy, basically from Jane and Linda's down 1, 2, 3, about 5 houses down, you kind of see the little jag in the line. We're requesting from the county to get an easement to run the water line in the road easement through that strip, where it kind of turns and gets back closer to the houses. The road easement is kind of in that ditch area, and so we wanted to install the water main outside of the ditched area, so we obtain easements for those properties.
So let me ask this, I'm just curious, why are you going from behind the current to, is there a specific reason that you're going around in front of people's houses as opposed to behind them?
We're going to go in front of them so we can access the water main much easier than in the rear of the property. Actually, if you go back to the first page, you can see the 3 clusters of meters where the water line kind of turns off to the right there. The house up near 55, they have their private water line that runs through 2 other property owners. There was an issue with that water service, and they actually had to jump over on Dr. Cook's property, and there's been quite the ordeal trying to get through that. And Dr. Cook is now wanting that water service off of his property, so bringing it out to the road makes it much easier for us to maintain the service.
Is there any hydrants that'll be abandoned now, and there'll be one added in?
Yeah, there's no hydrants that'll be abandoned.
Okay.
How many hydrants will be put in? Just one. And where will they go?
Is that down the end there?
It'll be down on the end by the creek, that last house.
Is it possible to put, like, in the middle of all the houses?
Put another fire hydrant in.
Yeah.
Either that or put that one in the middle of them houses. Say, like, if it was down at the end, you had a fire at the beginning one, that's a long stretch.
Yes, sir.
And like if you had it in the middle, you splitting that difference, or added another one.
We could do that. There's already a fire hydrant here by the entrance at 55, and we would have one down at the end. We really want one down at the end because right now we have no way to flush that line. So as you get stale water in that line, you don't have the ability to flush that line out. We have some of our state compliance samples in that area, so having the ability to properly flush and maintain that line makes it necessary to have a fire hydrant at the end. And so as far as putting an additional fire hydrant, we could do that, but that would come at a cost of about $5,000.
Can you put just a flush valve at the end of it?
We could, but it just allows us to get more velocity through the pipe if we can put a regular fire hydrant.
Now, the only place you'll be disturbing the roadway is up by the old Kemp printing building, is that correct?
Correct.
And the rest of it will go down the side of the road?
Yes, it'll go down the side of the road, correct.
Have all the homeowners already signed easements?
The last 4 or 5 homes where that little jag is, yes, they have.
What about the first 4 or 5?
I'm sorry.
When you come around the curve, what about the first four or 5 houses?
That's what we're asking for the easement.
No, yeah.
Down the county right away.
Oh, okay,
Right away.
gotcha, so it's gonna be county. You know, let me say this, I don't see any reason why we can't move forward, but with that being said, that is my district, and this is the first I've heard of it. So I would like the opportunity, if the court doesn't mind, I'd like the opportunity just to go out and speak to the homeowners. Have you spoke to the homeowners? Or,
I spoke to several of them, yes.
okay, well, I'd just like to make sure that everything's good, if you don't mind. And then if you can wait a couple of weeks, and then we can, next meeting, get it approved and
When
move
were you all
forward.
looking at starting on this?
This project is part of a much bigger project. We're replacing pipe in Rolling Hills and some other areas in town. The contractor's going to start work on part of the project starting next week. So
So you've got time. Yeah. Yeah, if the court doesn't mind, if you wait at next meeting, I'd appreciate it.
That's similar to what the gas company, everybody saw the work they're doing. They got a lot of meters, like you say, out in the middle of fields on other people's properties, and they're doing away with all that and putting everybody's meter actually at their house.
But I agree, I think it'd
Instead
be
of,
nice to have a fire hydrant.
Now, the part where you're gonna have to turn the meter, run a line back in, is the property owner have to do that, or y'all take care of that, or?
we're going to take care of that. That'd be a cost of 11 working.
Try that first.
Relocate.
It's, yeah.
We're actually going to pay for the cost to go from the meter and tie back into this.
That's good.
Also, Mr. Thompson, and thank you for your cooperation. Could you also go back and check with the water board and see if they'd be willing to work with us, that if we went along with the right-of-way, if we could get another, if they would go ahead and put another hydrant halfway up in there for us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
No problem.
We should know something next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, so next meeting, we'll be in good shape. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Agenda is to consider approval of Marion County Detention Center medical policies. Barry, you want?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get our policy stuff over on our self-management, everything stayed in line up until, December. We had our nurse practitioner, submit her notice of resignation, and so we've been working with Sue Porter on insurance and stuff, which we're covered if we had a nurse practitioner, but we did work out an agreement with Dr. Kirk, and Sue Porter has worked out the insurance for the malpractice for us to bring her on. It's the ideal situation for our self-management, is to have a doctor's office, not just solely a single nurse practitioner. But also with that, it's pushed me back because everything we have agreements with CCS died December the 31st. So besides the policy approvals, which are the same policies that we run by for the last few years that you approved, or just under our name, I got a temporary agreement from a nurse practitioner out of Louisville who's going to provide service for us until we can get Dr. Kirk's contract and the malpractice insurance in front of you on the 17th. So I won't be able to put that in front of you until the 17th, but right now I will need the approval for the one temporary contract for the nurse practitioner. I will fill in until I get the agreement done, along with the policy.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mr. Pope?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Thank you, Barry.
Next item is open bids for the Phillips Lane Bridge. I think we have two of them here. Jimmy, if you want to come up and open them. This is from Galusha Contracting, is that right? How you say that, Jimmy? Out of Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Our original bid before.
36.
96. With Hornback.
Like we're set down.
This right here is 72,251.
72,251.
Yep.
Shoo.
How do you say their name?
It's G-U-A.
G-A-L-U-S-A-A.
You don't say it with emotion.
Let's see what the other bid is.
The other one is from Ram Contracting.
Is that Ram out of Washington County?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, they on 550, or 55 over here.
This here is for 80,000 even. And, he's with us. I've been talking to him, and this is a pre-fab bridge. So, I believe we need to kind of look over these bids, do something next meeting.
Yeah, well then,
Check them out.
of course, we have the new committee, so I'd say that yourself
idea.
and the committees and Judge get together and
Yeah,
come back to the next meeting with a recommendation.
good deal.
Is the bridge mainly going to be wider, maybe not necessarily longer, but wider?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, it's quite a bit wider, isn't it, Jim?
Did either one of them have kind of like a time frame or you know? Well, you can look at that when you, I didn't know.
Well, that's what, we'll let them take a look at it.
Yeah, we'll
Figure it out.
look it all
Yeah, just look
over.
at, just see if it's,
See what we
they'll
got.
be kind of going through the creek till it gets done. Don't want it to drag out too long.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. So we'll just hold that till y'all look at it.
Yeah, we'll look it over and get the committee to take a look at it and go from there. At the last meeting, item number 5 is consider approval of bids for the relocation of the fire tire. We had 2 bids on that as well. One was from JDM Construction, which came in at $138,900. The other one was from Smith, Larry Smith, I think is who it was.
Yes.
Yeah, and he came in at $126,200. I did contact the fire chief the day after the meeting and discussed with him, and he said he'd like to sit down and have a meeting before, prior to the job to begin, because there's some guidelines and specifications, and so I'd like to let that be part of the acceptance of this bid, is to meet his requirements.
So what you're saying is motion to approve for Mr. Smith to receive the bid with approval of Chief Mattingly in compliance with the fire inspector?
That'd be correct.
Okay.
We also just need to make sure the insurance, everything's in place, not saying it's not.
Good idea,
Workman's
yeah.
comp and general liability with our name on the policy.
Yeah.
I know that's what I have to do for a lot of my customers, so.
Is there I talked to Mr. Thompson, is there we gotta have water, 2 hydrants back, what's it require? 1 or 2 or?
Well, that's an excellent question.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's, while he's here, I mean, I spoke to him a little bit about it, but there's
Yeah,
not,
I
right
talked
now,
to
there's
him
not a
myself,
line
forgot
back there adequate for that, is it? I don't think.
I spoke to John Thomas and some other representatives from the city, and they requested 2 fire hydrants to be installed. One is a backup and one is the primary. That's the way they normally firefight, and so that's what they had requested at the particular site. As far as the water main goes, we have a water main going down Fairground Road, but it's on the opposite side of the road. And so to get a water line back to that specific site, we would have to bore underneath the Fairground Road and run that line all the way back and install 2 fire hydrants.
You've got an estimate on that, don't you, Darren? Or-
I've got a preliminary estimate of just materials only. It's about, if I can remember correctly, it's about $25,000, just materials.
How long's the line?
I want to say it's about 1,800 feet long, roughly within 100 feet or so.
What size does it have to be to do that?
6 inch.
6 inch?
Well, let me ask you a question, David, as well as for the court. Of course, the whole reason and the sole reason that we're moving this is due to the, I guess, Diego, however you say it, is moving his purchase and acquired the property, and that was one of the specifications of their purchase of the property. With that being said, you know, of course, that property was sold by the industrial board, and they had made the commitment per se. My question is that I think it would be only fair for the industrial board to help the city and the county out in regards to this move. We didn't, you know, we weren't involved in the negotiations, but yet we are involved when it comes time to pay. So my thought process is I'm pretty sure they made some money, and hopefully they did, on the property sale. So I would hope that they'd be willing to, as we know, we've got water line costs, we've got removal costs. You're talking by the time it's all said and done, it's probably going to be a $200,000 project, hopefully, at that. So with that being said, I think it'd be great for and I'm sure they would, I think it'd be great for the industrial board to step up and help out both the city and the county government in regards to covering some of this cost. So if you could get with them and ask that, I think it would be great.
We can do that.
That was one reason I brought the water line, because the building without the water is
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
Yeah,
useless.
yeah, you
And
can't.
actually, that's a
part
great
of
point.
it, so.
Great point.
I mean, there could even be, the city has property on the same side of the street, so, you know, it could even be we could look at another location even that would fit better and
Well-
would cost less as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing is that, you know, we need to look at all of it, but I think moving forward with this again, the industrial board cut the deal. We're part of it, so I'm sure they'd be willing to help us.
Which we've
guys.
already approved to relocate it, that's one thing we have committed
Right,
to do.
we're going to
Yeah.
relocate it, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
But
so-
my point is that the additional cost and so forth, for example, like the water line and so forth.
What's the time frame we have to get it moved?
A couple months is what they're requesting,
Maybe.
so.
Well, yeah. What's going to end up happening, I would say, is that, outside looking in, is that it's going to be removed from the property because we have to, per the contractual agreement with the owner or the purchaser. So we'll have to have it deconstructed, but it might be a little bit before we reconstruct it. So, but that's a good question, because we need to know that. But if you'll find out,
We'll
that'd be
find
great.
out, exactly.
So John, was that a motion? Approve Marion County Will?
Yes, it was a motion, but well, let me ask you this.
I've got some.
It's a motion, but there's so many amendments or attachments to that motion. Do we want to go ahead and make a motion, or do we want to find this out, or what?
Well, you're gonna have to move it, right?
We're gonna have to move it, and they're the
All right,
two, I mean,
so-
We've already put it out for bids, but
we've already
then,
bid it out.
So the motion does stand with the attachment in regards to the Chief Mattingly, ensuring that, getting with Mr. Smith to make sure that it's removed and it's going to be constructed properly in accordance to the fire marshal's office, as well as the judge getting with the industrial board to see if they'd be willing to help the city and the county out with some financial assistance.
With the water as well.
Yes.
The water, yeah,
And contingent upon producer workers' comp liability.
exactly.
I second.
it's all the policies.
You got it. Thank you, Chad.
I'll second that.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Larry, you got a second? Mr. Webb?
Yep.
Mr.
Yes.
Bishop? Yes. Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 6, consider approval to allow county judge's office to develop a scope of work for document for project funds.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Elder.
Yes.
Mr. Quayle.
Yes.
Mr. Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Vogel. Yes. Mr. Kirkland.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 7, consider approval of reassignment of committees to magistrates and to schedule committee meetings on the first and third Thursday of the month at 3 o'clock. We've had a little change in these assignments for these magistrates, and they are as such. On the Animal Shelter Committee to be Magistrate Elder, Magistrate Cowell. On the Road Committee, it'll be Magistrate Kirkland, Magistrate Bishop, and Magistrate Vogel. And on Emergency Services is Magistrate Kirkland, and is that you, Craig, on that one? And Magistrate Bishop. On the Policy Committee, Magistrate Elder, Magistrate Cowell, Magistrate Kirkland. And on the Jail Committee will be Magistrate Vogel and Magistrate Cowell. Anybody have any questions on that, just get with me after the meeting.
I'm bailing out on you, Barry, but I still love you.
Yeah. I'm all right.
And what we're going to do is meet before on the 3 o'clock on Thursday before the meetings, and we will advertise it.
Hey, let me ask, I would like to ask, that's a good question. Do we, of course, we're going to have a standard meeting, as David said, 3 o'clock before each meeting. Is that something we still have to notify the press about every time, or since it's a standing meeting, does that one notification qualify?
Is this the way the committee meetings have been handled in the past?
No, we're changing them.
Because I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. No, before the committees, as you know, like I would let you know, we had a Emergency Service Committee or whatever, we kind of worked it around everyone's schedule. And like with the Emergency Services Committee, it still might have to work like that because obviously you're dealing with a lot of volunteer fire chiefs and so forth. But for like the Animal Shelter, the Jail Committee, Road Department, and so forth, we plan on rotating those and having those meetings at 3 o'clock. So it's scheduled for 3 o'clock each meeting, same as our court meetings. My question.
All meeting at the same time?
No, we're going to rotate. We're going to rotate.
We're going to rotate them.
Yeah, rotate. For example, the animal shelter might meet, the animal shelter and the policy procedures might meet the first meeting. The second meeting, it might be the road department and the emergency service or policy procedures.
Yeah.
Yes. So my question is that do we have to notify you each and every time, or can one notification work for it?
I mean, I'd like to know who's meeting. I mean, I wouldn't know which meeting is meeting.
Yeah, we don't have a problem doing that, but we want to make sure we're not in violation. We want to do it right, is what we're
The
saying.
emergency service people, didn't they used to meet in the evenings when they could all be
Yeah,
there?
it's
Is
like
that-
6
Yeah, emergency.
Full court?
No, just the committee.
There could be up to a
Yeah,
quorum.
it could be.
On certain meetings.
Yes.
So obviously, if it's a quorum, we have to notify. My point, I'm just asking, making sure, but yeah, I agree. That way you'll know what's going on, so it's.
I just know in the past, like the emergency service, they would, a lot of them might have jobs or something, I don't
If
know.
they send out the agenda for the fiscal court meeting, they could also send out what the committee meeting is for that.
For the day.
Excellent,
No
there you go,
problem.
that's awesome.
Just do it an hour earlier.
Yeah, but you're right, the Emergency Service Committee,
Kinda
it's
different.
got, really, pretty much has to meet in the evening because you've got your volunteer chiefs and so forth that work just like everybody else.
Yeah, so, I was just, a lot of times they might not be able to be here. I don't know how y'all did all that, but I know they
We
do meet in
always,
the
we
evening.
always did them about 6:30 or 7, so, in the evening.
Yeah, good deal. Thank you all.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, need a-
On that.
Motion.
Mr. Bishop, motion. Second. Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mr. Vogel?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item number 8 is consider approval of budget transfer of $20,000 to the road fund and $20,000 to EMS.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mr.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Unanimous. Item number 9 is department reports. Jimmy, I know you handed us a report earlier.
I know during the garbage has been heavy, we've been picking up a lot of garbage, right? I got a few jobs that I've got started, and it's going, ground's gonna dry up before I can finish.
I understand
We've got some dead trees around the county that we're gonna take down and get time. Y'all know of any that's dangerous, gonna fall across the road or something, y'all let me know. When we start this, we can get them all and we get it done. All the gravel roads, we try and get them rocked, graded. We've been out putting coal mix. Y'all know of any potholes in your roads?
Yeah, I've got one on Horn Lane. I was out there this weekend and right past Spencer Clark's house.
Hope you got it fixed today.
That's, man, you're on top of it. God bless you. I'll check it out, but thank you.
The signs, we ain't been having a big problem with stealing them. It's people running over them. I don't know if it's farm equipment or what, but we have been having a lot of them knocked down here lately. And other than that, everything's pretty good.
Can we put them out wider, you think? I mean, I don't,
We can get them wider.
they are pretty tight in some places.
Spring loaded.
That's a good idea. All right. Thank you, Jimmy. Jason? Keith?
Thank you.
Nice report, Mr. Brock.
Barry? I put on the report there, our building is nearing completion. Actually, we'll actually start some painting hopefully by next week. So with that, some of the bills will be coming in on the final part of it. And I think from when I talked to Kevin, our approval was 45 to 50,000 when the court initially approved the building. But right now, it looks like the bid it's going to come in at 327.01. So I hope we get that so we can get the bills paid on the final part of the building.
It's still a lot less than we originally, what was it, 120, 125, something like that?
It was 135.
135, yeah.
We're gonna be under 54,000.
Good deal.
So I just need, Kevin, do we need a approval to stretch it, or we just send the bills on in?
We do.
Up to 53.5.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Etter?
Yes.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes.
Mr. Fogel?
Yes.
Mr. Kirkland?
Yes.
Mr. Quayle?
Yes.
Unanimous?
That's all we got.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nice short.
Thanks, Barry.
Chief?
All right, for the month of December, we made 209 runs. For the year, we were at 2,855.
That's the most ever, isn't it? As far as I can remember, since I've been here, you know.
Plenty.
How's Robbie? Is he recuperating?
We'll go back to the doctor tomorrow. So hopefully we'll be back in.
Anything on the remount truck or anything? You heard anything on that?
Still waiting on overhead doors, fix the one door, still waiting on the crack.
Everything else okay? Good. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tom.
Laurie's not here. Gary Luce is not here. He's out of town as well. Kay, anybody talk to Kay?
Yeah, I talked to her earlier, and she said they've just been super busy. A lot of dogs coming in after the holidays. I always get a lot come in. And she got several waiting to go out on rescue. The only issue she really had was her little trouble with her incinerator. She said Stanley came out and looked at it, and you're gonna call the people. It's something about the timer. It won't shut off. I don't, something malfunction. It's not, it'll heat, but it's not, the timer portion of it's not working right or something.
Yeah, we've had trouble with it before. So.
Yeah, she said Stanley had looked at it, and he's gonna call the guy that works on it.
Good deal.